So last week, Sergei defeated Yuza in a brilliant show of violence and creepiness that sort of makes you doubt that once upon a time the show had a Happy Meal with it. But we all thought that Yuzu was dead. Okay, no one thought Yuzu was dead. And after seeing that her body did not land in the building, because in theory it should have probably gone splat all around the building, we find that Yuzu survived. Not because of Deus Ex Machina like I was afraid would happen, but no, because the power of boners is stronger. Okay, to be fair, I'm sure there's a narrative reason and a story purpose to why Sora felt the need to save Yuzu and then try and inspire Yuya with that fact. Realistically, obviously, it's because Yuzu can't die, the bad guys need her, and the other girls in one piece. But seeing as we don't directly know what that is yet, and I assume that will be a plot point as we go into future episodes, for right now we are going to assume it's because in her moment of need, Yuzu was saved because Sora's testicles dropped and he felt the need to save his woman. So that's what we're going with. And while we're on the subject, I am glad we didn't drag this out. Like I said, we all know Yuzu can't die. She's too important to the plot and too important to the story. So therefore, you need her saved via some method. And if you're going to come up with a good way to do it, and a way we aren't expecting with Sora, just own that moment. Don't drag it out an episode or two, which is what I was afraid they were going to do. Just flat out say it. Sora saved Yuzu, let's move on. And with all that done, we were able to get into the main focus of this episode very quickly, which is Yuya versus Shinji Weber, who I will continue to call Weber because there's something very funny about an anime character named Weber. And basically, as we all know, I really loved what they did with Weber in his last appearance. The whole duel, the political stuff, the societal commentary, I thought was executed more perfectly than even movies and TV shows that are about it. But that brought up the interesting question. Could they follow up? Could they make everything work in his next appearance? Yes, they did. Oh my god, this episode was so great. Apart from the fact that they didn't try and pull any punches with the Yuzu stuff, everything with Shinji worked perfectly here. Why? Because it all makes sense for the direction it's going. Here's the thing. What I love so much about the Shinji thing was that it was so unapologetic with everything and the way Yugioh often does things. But in order to continue this in a way that still keeps the story focused, ultimately it has to explore the concept that Shinji is just as crazy as everyone he hates. And that is a very bold thing to do here, and they do it very well. Yes, you could make the argument that he is just going along with what has to happen, but that doesn't make him any better than what he's facing. He wants to lead a rebellion against the, why am I blanking? The Tops. Let's just call them the Tops. That means that essentially he has to basically commit a 14-year-old boy to a life of torture. That doesn't bother him. That doesn't scare him. He's not afraid or worried or even sympathetic to Yuzu's well-being. This man is not stable. He is not safe, nor is he a good guy or a hero. He is an angry person who is just doing angry things because that's what he wants to do. And that's what I loved about this episode, is that everything was shown so unapologetically about it. It's flat out exploring that area of gray that, yes, he does ultimately want the right thing, but his motives and the way he's going about it is wrong. He is, at the end of the day, just another nutcase trying to get what he wants. And it is really great the way that plays off with Yuya. Once again, playing up the fact that Yuya is just this very small part in an overall bigger plot was maintained by the fact that he kind of doesn't really know what to think of Shinji. He understands he's angry, understands he's scared, but Yuya is encountering someone who is this aggressive and this pent up with anger, but at the same time directing it in an all fairness right way. And that is what's so cool about watching the whole thing play out, is there's really no bad guy in this episode, but there is a character who is doing the wrong thing. Nobody evil, just people trying to get by. And that was really well shown. The duel was very fun. I like seeing the B-Force combo, although if I hear the people say one more time, why is he summoning such a low attack point monster, I am going to bust a gasket. But I thought everything in that regard worked perfectly, and I wonder what monster is going to premiere next episode. But all in all, I thought this was a really fun, solid episode, and I thought it executed what it needed to execute perfectly and without a hitch. But what did you think? In the comments section below, tell me that. And now, it is time for our TCG question of the week, where I ask a Yu-Gi-Oh question because I didn't have anything prepared. I am sort of oh yeah, I know what to ask. New Exodia support was confirmed this week. Well, technically it was last week at this point, but whatever. That's right, the Forbidden One is getting his own deck. Now with Buster Blader getting a deck, Blackluster Soldier, Guy the Fierce Knight getting more support, what monster do you want to get its own deck? It doesn't have to be anything from the anime, just whatever monster you've liked over the years. If it could get a deck built around it, what would you want? Tell that in the comments below and anything you want to have with this episode. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe so we can actually find out what's going on with Sora.